Hi there, welcome to the Beaten Trail. In this episode, we're going to give you a little background information on the Minersville, PA trail that leads to town.
Tell us about the Minersville ride.
So, FRO has put together, I want to call it a single access trail. It's not wide enough to really pass. It does dump you out into that section where the mud pits were that we used to always play in. I think over time they can widen it. I think this was just to get it together for the event for this weekend.
So it may not even be the final, but
That's
they might have just
the way I seen it. They,
quickest, easiest. That's what they did.
Basically took a bulldozer and went through it for the most part. But it does keep you off the cold road, which is great. Other than it's the long way around the mine.
Yeah, and we saw there was cold traffic when you were out there. We saw the trucks on the haul road, so that was Saturday, I guess.
Yeah, you basically loop what they have posted, which is great. Because they actually have a lot more signs now. It wasn't just like whatever trail dumped you out on the coal road and you were like, oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to be out here. Now they have it blocked off. There's no way for you to actually get on the coal road whatsoever.
And you did, and there was a couple places where you missed a turn.
Yes.
And so maybe it wasn't an arrow. They need maybe an arrow or a sign or two.
Their signs are like diagonal.
Yeah, a little blue diagonal Minersville.
They don't have arrows. So you basically got, like, they need a double sign. One at the intersection and one that you're actually supposed to go down. Not all of them are like that, but when you come to a 5-point intersection or a 2-point intersection, which one do you go? Coming back, for some reason, I always made that left-hand turn.
So it's room for improvement, but at least they had it ready for Mudfest and the Yamaha thing, or whenever they're going to have it open. But
there is one section that has a huge rock that they need to move out of the way. Because what's happening now is everybody going around that rock, it wants to dump you off the cliff. But it's just
so they
huge.
Need to dump move the rock off, move the rock off the cliff. Is it something that is it a 2,000-pound rock? Is it something you could winch off? Maybe
it's the size of the Volkswagen Beetle.
That's a big rock.
Yeah, and there's two. There's a little one before, but that one ain't gonna move. It's the big. The reason why I took the full size through the mud pits and everything till we came to that first road, and I told him, I said, just go down the road. I said, because it was a Suburban. I was like, there's no way you're gonna make it past that. And we took a Jeep and he just snuck around it. But I mean, he was rubbing fenders.
Yeah. How was the signage as you got down at the town? Towards town? Was it just to the ball field?
I went to just the ball field and that's where I stopped.
Okay.
So I didn't actually go into town.
Okay.
I was hoping we were going to do a whole nother thing on
it. So I'm assuming that's why they were trying to make some money for a permit for Minersville. Whether that works or not, I don't know, but probably to pay for some of the signs. And
I believe it was on FRO's and I believe on the mayor's thing. There is a map that's actually very well detailed and it uploads to Google. So it'll pinpoint you on the right road. So you'll have GPS on what road you should be on.
Okay, good.
But my suggestion for Minersville is they need to open up something fast food. They need to have a Burger King or McDonald's. That's what these guys want. Open up a hot dog.
Even a food truck. Even a food truck would be good.
Right. Go and sit at a bar for 2 hours.
Well, for the Mudfest, that was very much the reason. You spend 2, 3, 4 hours going and coming. You don't have time for the luxury of touring the town when you're doing an event. But you had a lot of other people that wanted to go for the ride, but they had a barbecue to do, or they wanted to do the cornhole tournament, or they wanted to do raffles, or whatever. So they wanted to make sure that. So they, like I said, all in all planning, it was great. I just, from what I understood, it was just, as you've seen some of the reels, it was a dust bowl. That's nobody's fault. That's the way it is.
See those trails getting muddy at all because you actually go up into the pines and it's cool and shaded up there. The only spot where you're going to go through the mud is along the coal road there. But I think it's a good trail. Just don't expect to get into town within less than an hour.
Right. So it's an hour each way with no traffic?
Coming back, because you know how me and Frank fly, we did it in 35 minutes. But we didn't stop. We just kept coming. And everybody we passed, it was at a spot that we could pass. So if you're hammering down 35 minutes, you can do it. But if you got to pass a lot of people, you're going to get hung up. 2 or 3 switchbacks coming down off the mountain, and they're like the spots where you're going to have to either wait for them to come up, or they're going to have to wait for you to come down. Because it's just, it gets tight.
And with the dust, that slows you down too, because you can't see oncoming or the person in front of you or everything.
Basically, when we did, what was that event that we did across?
Good Intent.
Yes, and that was the one bad spot that everybody tried. It was like the worst spot for 1,000 machines or 800 machines. You're crossing over into all that over there, and you're basically riding all that to get there.
Yeah, well, it's a good improvement. I'm happy that they had it working. I'm sure it'll see some changes over time. You never know. Once they're done with the processing of St. Kieran's and the incline, they may go back to the standard 4-mile trail that goes over the mountain but that whole mountain's going to be decimated with whatever they do. So it could be years before you see that. But at least it's positive, like Shamokin does AOAA. You can get into town. Now they just need a Turkey Hill and a Wendy's and a food truck or whatever it is.
Something quick where people can come in and grab McDonald's, Burger King, or something. I don't know where they can put one. And then the only other thing I can think of too for Darkwater is I think they need to put risk signs up at the hill climbs. Ride at your risk. Because when you're coming across the top and you come to that, you don't know that that's there. The trail leads to it, but you don't know.
Signage is something they're working on.
Like we drove right past it for the night ride, but I knew to stay to the bottom of it, not be up on top of it. Because I can't take that many people up it or down it, number one.
Right.
Number two, you don't want to be coming up on that and not know that it's there.
Yeah, I mean, it would be handy to have, like they got the pink signs that said bikes only, indicating one of the Twin Pines Hill. But they very easily they could just say, hill, caution.
Right.
Hill climb or descent, caution. Arrow up, arrow down,
Limited recovery.
Right, yeah, they could do that. So if they're open to input from people, what we can say is write to FRO if you have an idea. Just understand that probably everyone's going to, the complaints, the tips and tricks and suggestions are all going to go to the same person. So you got to give it some time. And I know it's a work in progress, and I like I said, I dug out a video from my first Darkwater trip in 2020, and it's night and day what it's like there. At least there's some signs out there. Now, all the green trails are not truly green trails, so be careful. Their rating system is not 100%. They're making progress.
On the night ride and the Minersville, they're like, are we going to be on greens and blues? And I was like, honestly, I don't know, because even though they label it a green and blue, it's not really truly a green or blue. Like it's.
Some of the greens go up off camber, off the side of a mountain, and up the side of a mountain, and that's green for you and I in a side-by-side, but the guy on the sport quad with two-wheel drive is maybe not going to have fun, or the person that's in the trail model standard is not going to have fun. So it's your mileage will vary. Well, anything else to say about the Minersville Trail?
Once you get really onto the other side, the back side, over by 901, that's where it opens up into those big fields. You got plenty of space to pass and everything.
And did they have some signs just on trees or on rocks? Did they have any posts?
Most were all on trees. Like they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to blow over. They actually did the signage very well. I think they're just going to make them a little bigger. They're probably 6x6s where they should have been 12x12s.
Yeah, and the dust is going to be hard. If they maybe they add some more. I mean, each sign can probably cost $5-10. So I understand that there's a cost involved. Make it safe and to do all that.
And they did return signs too. Returning back home, return.
They're white or whatever. Yeah. So we've seen that. We've seen that in the Ashland Locust Gap. We've seen it in Darkwater St. Kieran's, that there's indication of going away from the trailhead and coming back from the trailhead, usually two different colors.
I believe there's another spot too where they, instead of coming back over to go across the street, there's another trail that runs along that creek. They can split it so that one is going and one is coming, and
they had problems there because people were going out in the field. Well, that's tells us a little bit about the event. I'm sure we'll hear some more at other events if the Yamaha event is going to do something, and good that they got it open. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you again for our sponsors and partners for being on board with us. We do appreciate having you on board. Thanks for watching, and we hope this helped talk a little bit about the Minersville Trail, and we hope to see you out there on the trail. Thanks.